Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Since Day One. Before we get into this video today about Nicki Minaj as well as her husband Kenneth Petty, a YouTuber by the name of Marley Green, and also today we have in attendance Jennifer, and last but not least we have Remy Ma and Azealia Banks. And before we get into this video today, you guys go ahead and like the video, comment down below, and if you are new, smash that subscribe button to take flight with us.
Fake love, I don't need it, you can keep it as a fact. I had to make up my mind. I took that weight on my shoulder. I done been down for so.
Well, y'all know I don't make the news, I just report it. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard by now what's going on with Nicki Minaj and why her name has been trending for a few days now. Apparently, it seems as if Nicki Minaj has been trying to take up for her husband, Kenneth Petty, as well as defend him from social media and social media's opinions of him on what he did in 1995, as well as him being married to Nicki Minaj. Information and details about Kenneth Petty can be found online if you know where to look. So details of him being a convicted offender, as well as details of his 1995 case, can be found online. Word in these social media streets, you guys, is that Nicki Minaj knows exactly what her husband got in trouble for in 1995. However, she's trying to basically turn back the hands of time and get her husband Kenneth Petty off of the lifetime registration list so that they can live happily ever after. And there's one thing that Nicki Minaj as well as her husband Kenneth Petty have to do and have to accomplish before getting her husband off of the lifetime registration list. Which in normal circumstances, that rarely ever happens unless the person who pressed the initial charges comes back and recants their statement. And that leads us into our next topic of the video, which is Jennifer, you guys, who happens to be the initial person who filed the initial charges on Kenneth Petty back in 1995, allegedly before Nicki Minaj even met Kenneth. Other rumors I've heard in these social media streets, you guys, is that Nicki Minaj has basically been trying to harass and intimidate Jennifer into recanting, because apparently when Kenneth Petty tried to do it, it did not work. Jennifer has been sticking by the very same story that she told 20 years ago back in 1995 when Kenneth Petty first pled guilty to what he did to her. It seems as if Nicki Minaj has been using her power and her legendary influence as well as her social media platform that has millions on millions of followers, fans, and supporters. With many of those fans and supporters, you guys, who love and worship Nicki Minaj and will be willing to do anything for her just for her acknowledgement. Even if that meant going against the people that Nicki Minaj has publicly said that she does not like, or just for instance going up against anyone who did not agree with Nicki's current lifestyle. And allegedly, word in these YouTube streets, you guys, is exactly what Jennifer has been experiencing with Nicki Minaj's husband Kenneth Petty, as well as Nicki Minaj and her fans and supporters. Apparently, this intimidation, you guys, was happening behind the scenes before it ever made its way to social media. It's being said that Jennifer got so fed up, you guys, that she eventually filed her own lawsuit against Nicki Minaj as well as her husband Kenneth Petty for breaching his 1995 plea deal, to state that Kenneth Petty was not to make any contact with Jennifer at all. But with Kenneth Petty being able to have access to Nicki Minaj's power and influence, he has been able to directly and indirectly contact Jennifer. Inside of the alleged $15 million lawsuit that Jennifer filed against Nicki Minaj as well as her husband Kenneth Petty, Jennifer didn't fail to mention that all of this stuff from the past started to come up when Nicki Minaj started dating Kenneth Petty in 2018. Jennifer said the musician made comments that her then boyfriend was wrongfully accused after fans brought up his criminal past. And just like Nicki Minaj has those crazed fans and supporters, the stans, the barbs, who would be willing to do anything for Nicki Minaj, you guys, if it came with a little acknowledgement from the queen of rap. However, Nicki Minaj also has fans and supporters, you guys, who has a little common sense and started to question Nicki Minaj when they found out that she was dating Kenneth Petty. Some of Nicki Minaj's fans and supporters even started to question her, asking her why she would choose someone like Kenneth knowing his criminal past versus having anybody in the world she wanted. It seems as if Nicki Minaj did not care what her fans and supporters thought of her then boyfriend Kenneth, because on October 21st, 2019, Kenneth and Nicki secretly got married, and she revealed to shocked fans on Instagram. The Queen radio host posted a cute video to Instagram showing showing off their wedding swag, including Mr. and Mrs. coffee mugs and snapbacks that said bride and groom. And ever since that day, y'all, all hell has broke loose. The Barbs have been fighting ever since. In 2020, Kenneth Petty was arrested for failing to register as an offender when he moved with his wife, Nicki Minaj, from New York to California. Jennifer said that Nicki Minaj then called to offer her a trip to LA to meet. However, after Jennifer turned it down, she said that she suffered an onslaught of harassing calls and unsolicited visits. And Jennifer also stated in her lawsuit that Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty allegedly paid a friend to offer her $500,000 to recant her allegations. Jennifer said that she turned down the proposal, which led her to being harassed by the couple's associates. She told the court that she had to move because she lived in fear. I don't know if I got my dates right, y'all, but sometime in January of 2022, Jennifer had dropped her lawsuit that she filed against Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty. And Nicki Minaj was no longer facing the harassment lawsuit. And on the other hand, celebrity gossip pages were running with the narrative that Jennifer had dropped her lawsuit against Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Lawyers for Jennifer filed the notice of voluntary dismissal Wednesday, January 12th. No reasoning for the dismissal was given in the documents, and the dismissal only pertains to Nicki Minaj. And Jennifer will continue to pursue her lawsuit against Kenneth. And a lot of people thought that Nicki Minaj was off the hook, but she wasn't. When Jennifer's lawyer was speaking to a federal magistrate judge at the hearing Thursday, the lawyer claimed that the only reason Nicki Minaj was voluntarily dropped from the civil litigation filed in the Eastern District of New York was because jurisdictional issues required Jennifer to move her claims against Nicki Minaj to a different coast. Jennifer's lawyer told the judge, "We plan to refile it in a court with proper jurisdiction." Jennifer's lawyer later identified California as the proper venue because Nicki Minaj, whose legal name is Onika Tanya Mirage, now lives in the Golden State with her husband and her son. So back to here and now, you guys. Jennifer went and did an interview with a YouTuber that goes by the name of Marley Green. I'm not sure if that's her real name, you guys, but that's the name that's been trending. Alongside her YouTube channel, Nosey Heaux Live. So let's get into the nitty gritty, y'all. Marley Green is a celebrity news gossip blogger on YouTube, you guys. She got her channel where she talk about the things that she believes in. Marley came across Kenneth Petty's past in Jennifer and gave an interview to Jennifer to basically give her a voice about what really happened to her back in 1995 and to let people know that it was the truth, and basically she's not gonna recant because she was telling the truth and she doesn't understand why people keep doing her wrong and thinking that she's lying. Nicki Minaj, on the other hand, did not like the interview, you guys, and word in these YouTube streets is that she did any and everything she could to get the interview taken down because she really didn't want people to know the truth, because allegedly Nicki lied about some things to her fans and supporters concerning Jennifer and her husband, Kenneth Petty. And I'm really not sure if it was the same YouTube video or a different YouTube video where Marley Green had also came for Kenneth Petty as well as Nicki Minaj's 1-year-old son, saying something along the lines of Nicki Minaj shoving all of this powder up her nose. Allegedly, thank you, allegedly, but now we all know it's true. Listen, I can't even say allegedly with that because I know it's true. I'm not saying allegedly on that. Nicki Minaj is a powderhead. Marley Green says in a piece of the video that was quoted in the lawsuit. Nicki Minaj wasted no time filing a $75,000 defamation lawsuit against the blogger who called her a powderhead and said that Nicki Minaj was known for shoving powder up her nose. In the new complaint obtained by Rolling Stone, Nicki Minaj says Marley Green, a gossip blogger who goes by the name Nosey Heaux, falsely and maliciously called her a drug addict in a new Twitter video posted on Monday. That Nicki Minaj is saying outrageously defamed her and sparked a firestorm of social media attention. The complaint that was filed Wednesday in federal court in New York says Marley Green also posted vile comments about Nicki Minaj's 1-year-old son. Those statements weren't actionable, but Nicki Minaj says they show Green's fundamental lack of decency and should be considered as the rapper seeks punitive damages. And I had to look it up, and actionable means that it wasn't giving sufficient reason to take legal action or able to be done or acted on having practical value because they were Marley Green's own opinions. And Nicki Minaj's lawyers are saying that Marley Green's video statement was false because Nicki Minaj has never used powder. They go on to say, in a different age, Marley Green's lie would have been meaningless because she is the ultimate quote-unquote nobody. A person whose main accomplishments in life have been a string of criminal charges, bail jumping, and bad debts. But this is the age of social media, one in which a nobody can find an undeserved following through relentless self-promotion, the paperwork alleges. And as if all of this wasn't already enough, you guys, Marley Green got on Twitter and said Nicki Minaj has been in a rage for several days now. She threatened me, sent her barbs to harass and threaten me, now doxing me. She has gone way too far and I'm definitely suing her. Hashtag surviving the petties. Marley Green's attorney says that the lawsuit filed by Nicki Minaj against Marley Green is an act of retaliation. Marley is a black woman, a lesbian, a survivor, and an outspoken activist for other survivors. Marley was targeted after Jennifer appeared on Marley's YouTube channel alleging that she was by Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty. Mr. Petty is a registered offender who was convicted of first-degree attempted of a 16-year-old child. It goes on to say, curiously, Ms. Minaj's lawsuit was filed shortly after Jennifer's interview with Marley. Since the interview, Marley has received threats of physical violence and constant harassment. There is no doubt that this will backfire for Mrs. Minaj once the public learns about the intimidation and harassment that Marley has suffered, all as a direct result of her mission to give other survivors a voice. Nicki Minaj's attorneys say that when this case is over, Jennifer will no longer be permitted to use the name Nosey Heaux because we will take her trademark from her when she does not have enough money to pay the judgment. Anyone else who spreads lies about Nicki will suffer a similar fate. My marching orders are to aggressively sue anyone with a media or social media following who damages her with intentional lies. Eventually, the lesson will be learned. Nicki Minaj's lawsuit against Marley Green comes after a fellow rapper, Cardi B, successfully sued gossip blogger Tasha K, whose real name is Latasha Kibi, over defamatory claims that Cardi had herpes, used powder, and worked as an escort. In that case, a federal court jury in Georgia awarded Cardi more than $4 million in damages. However, Kibi is appealing the verdict. And as I was reading all of that to you guys, I started to think, like, how can Nicki Minaj sue Marley Green for defamation when Marley Green wasn't even the first person to call Nicki Minaj a powderhead? Which just makes me think that she really wants to sue Marley Green because Marley Green gave Jennifer a voice on YouTube, which is what Nicki Minaj didn't want, because it was rumor in these YouTube streets that Nicki Minaj tried to convince her fans and supporters that Jennifer was white and that allegedly Kenneth Petty and Jennifer were dating at the time. And I think the other one was that Jennifer was older than Kenneth. The whole situation is just so crazy, y'all. And then I be thinking to myself, like, Nicki Minaj probably wouldn't even be in this entire big old mess if she wouldn't have married Kenneth. Like, girl, you could have avoided all of this. I'm just gonna give Nicki Minaj the benefit of the doubt, y'all, because maybe Kenneth Petty led her on and had her thinking that this whole situation that happened to him back in 1995 was a lie and it wasn't ever true. And now that she's deep off in it, she's learning that, hey, this stuff might be true, and what have I gotten myself into? Well, moving along, if y'all been wondering who was the first person that called Nicki Minaj a powderhead, I'm pretty sure it was Remy Ma. I mean, look, I ain't trying to say that it was her, because maybe it was somebody else, but it's been a few celebrities who have called Nicki Minaj a powderhead, and Marley Green, the YouTuber, definitely didn't say it first. If y'all remember correctly, Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma has had this little feud going on for a couple of years now, and Remy Ma came out with this song about Nicki Minaj called Shether. They came out in 2017 where Remy Ma called Nicki Minaj a powderhead.
Okay, you cheated on your man with Ebro.
I might leak the footage of you sniffing them ski slopes.
Pills and potions, yup, you been on E-Ho.
And tell me, did y'all hear about Remy Ma getting sued by Nicki Minaj for defamation? Don't worry, I'll wait. It's not even went as far as Nicki Minaj telling on her dang self. Like where she made that song in 2008 with Lil Wayne called Higher Than a Kite. The title of the song tells on Nicki Minaj. And then y'all, Nicki Minaj came out with a music video for the song called Higher Than a Kite.
Me in Tokyo, with the Kokio, I got some heroin, I'm getting numb now, don't let me come down.
If if y'all didn't hear her, she said, I'm in Tokyo with the Kokyo. She got some heroin. She's getting numb now. Don't let her calm down. I'm just trying to see where the defamation is at, because if anything, Nicki Minaj has been defamed by Remy Ma, and she didn't go sue Remy Ma or nobody else who called her a powderhead. So why sue Marley when she probably just getting her information from the internet like everybody else? And y'all, don't forget that one time Azalea Banks got on Nicki Minaj's Instagram Live when everybody and their mama was on Nicki Minaj's Instagram Live, and everybody couldn't help but notice Nicki Minaj was constantly sniffling, prompting rumors of drug use. Azalea Banks, who's never afraid to speak her mind, was among the many wondering if Nicki had done powder prior to hopping on the giant social media platform. Azalea said, girl, if you sniffle one more time on this MFN Live, sis, she said, the Barbs, y'all need to check her on that. No, we have to talk about that sniffling. Nicki, you not low. You not low. Please stop sniffling, sis. That is just not even cute no more. Powder is not even powder no more. Once they locked El Chapo up, the original formula is gone. Whatever you putting in your nose, please stop putting in your nose. Baby powder, teething powder, whatever you putting in your nose, please stop putting it in your nose, Nicki. This is not okay, and them titties look like a butt. Did y'all see Nicki Minaj running in a few short days to sue Azalea Banks? Don't worry, I'll wait. It just seems like to me, y'all, that Nicki Minaj has this huge, powerful platform that she is able to use to get what she wants, even if that means intimidating or harassing people, because Marley and Jennifer are not the only ones that Nicki Minaj has allegedly done this to. Apparently, Nicki Minaj even went off on Fancy, aka Garcelle, because of the interview that Garcelle gave Jennifer on her platform, The Real, and then went on a campaign against Nicki and Kenny and judged Nicki for marrying and having a baby with a monster. Azalea must have seen the headlines about Nicki Minaj suing the blogger Marley Green, you guys, because the next thing I know, she's getting on her Instagram story and showing a repost of Hip Hop DX saying Nicki Minaj is suing the blogger for $75,000 over allegations. She then throws her 2 cents in and says $75K. Like, this is the brokest-ish I've ever heard in my life. Remy Ma definitely said I should leak the footage of you sniffing them ski slopes, and you didn't sue her, but you want to go after this random black girl for $75,000 measly dollars. Nah, this is embarrassing. And then Azalea had this to say.
Okay, $75,000. I might sound really highbrow, you know what I'm saying? But like, $75,000 is not hard to make as a musician. You know, you could just do one show, really. You know, like, you just do a show and get $75,000. Is there no one that wants to pay Nicki $75,000 to do anything right now? That is so fucking burnt. That is the most burnt shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Listen, I know I'm Miss Cat Soup, and I know I shouldn't be talking, but I'm never letting that fucking can of corn go. We should have known when she had the fucking corn frying in the Crisco with the Old Bay and like the little supermarket shrimp, like the little like mud vein shrimp. It was like, you can't afford to go to the fucking fish market? Like, is somebody going to the fish market and get this woman some real shrimp? No, but for someone who's always calling bitches broke, like, those were the broken fucking shrimp I've ever seen in my fucking life. Okay, so I don't know if everyone's been paying attention, but like, now your rap lyrics can be used against you in a court of law. I can like rap Nicki Minaj right off the top of my head. Like, keep the snow white, I could buy it by the bundle. I'm in Jamaica with them keys on the palm trees. Woke up, the price of cocoa. Like, you lost, you know? Like, sis, you're gonna lose this case. This girl's gonna counter sue you for like the rest of your popcorn, shrimp, and canned corn. And this is what you're gonna get for being a fake gangsta. Like, do you remember that episode of Queen Radio when she had Fendi on there and she was like, oh, was I selling crack then? Bye. Bye. You lost. Bye.
And let's not forget about that one song called Yikes that Nicki Minaj did that said, woke up, the price of coke up. Like, girl, how do you know? So like I was saying earlier, you guys, I really don't see a claim that Nicki Minaj has against Marley Green for defamation, seeing as a lot of other people already called her a powderhead in the past and she did nothing. So what it is for me, you guys, is it just seems like Nicki Minaj is salty with Marley Green for interviewing Jennifer, and she was mad that she couldn't do nothing about the interview because it was the truth and YouTube don't play them games. So she turned around and sued Marley for defamation over a personal opinion as well as comments that weren't actionable about Nicki Minaj's 1-year-old son. The whole situation is just crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't know what to think. Leave y'all thoughts and opinions down below, you guys, and let me know what y'all think about this entire situation. And I will see you guys in the next video.
So long, sleeping from sofa to sofa. Now I'ma step on these little bitty bitches. Here's some brand new Gucci low, some Gucci walking. I got tired of eating Big Mama's chicken. Now it's business when I walk.